Hey there, wizard. You ready for this? We got more camo and concealment to get into. Today we'll be continuing our Predator Ghillie series with the Beez Combat Systems Gat Wrap. And yeah, I tell you what, with winter coming, I need to hurry up and finish this series so I can get that whole alpine setup. But tell you what, let's go ahead and tear into the whole Gat Wrap. Let's get started. So this is our second video in our Predator Ghillie series. The first one we did showed the actual helmet cover that Beez does, and I'll link to that up here and down in the description if you want to go back and check that one out also. And hopefully that's helpful because I found that YouTube does any sort of video series just like extremely poorly. But the Predator Ghillie helmet cover gave us the ability to add camo and lifelike 3D concealment to our different helmet systems, removing the need for expensive colorways. And it allowed us to adapt to any environment quickly and easily. So then, what's the Gat Wrap? Well, the Gat Wrap is a similar product to the helmet cover that adds that breakup and concealment in all the different colorways, but instead of to our helmet system, we're gonna do the same thing to our weapon system. I like Cerakote as much as anyone else, and it makes for great camo, but for concealment, we wanna break up that identifiable rifle shape. And I'm gonna assume you know who Beez Combat System is after going through this series and all the other gear I've shown you. And you probably noticed them because most Instagram gear companies love ripping them off. But I will put a link down in the description that if you follow that link, you will save a little bit off the Beez site if you purchase something. Tell you what though, let's just move straight into the Gat Wrap and go look over all the different purchasing options on the website. So this is simple and easy as you're really just picking which colorway you want. They have all the full multicam lineup along with some basic colorways and even all the cool A-Jac stuff. And yes, if you're wondering, I do already have a setup in Alpine. I just need to get the rest of the setup together. Now what's cool is all the different available colorways are the same ones that are available for the helmet cover. So you could just pick an entire different setup and get all the different colorways for whatever environment you need. Keeping with our previous colors, I again went with the A-Jac Yukon. And I didn't talk about this earlier, but I love the combination of the multicam colors along with some splattering of digital print and then some desert camo in there also. And I think you're just gonna love the way the A-Jac Yukon looks in like the full Predator Ghillie lineup. It just looks pretty crazy. You're gonna love it. Tell you what though, let's go ahead and move over to the table. I'll show you everything that comes with the Gat Wrap when you order it and how to like put it all together. Oh, I will also note that Beez does have this quick little installation video, but we'll just do it together and go through it. Looking at what you get, this is all super easy as you have the Gat Wrap itself and then the additional bungee just to tie it all up. So far, this is pretty much exactly the same as the helmet wrap, so go ahead and grab some scissors and a lighter. I have a strange feeling, but I'm betting we're gonna weave this whole thing together. Like before, the first thing we wanna do is burn the bungee ends. Oh, never mind. Mine was actually done already from Beez. Well, thanks guys. Now moving to putting it all together, tie a knot in the end so you don't accidentally pull all this through as you work the bungee around. Can you guess? I don't know, guess who did that and then had to weave it all together again? Yeah, I don't know either. Trust me though, tie the knot. Now, following the instructions, you weave through all the vertical slots and skip all the horizontal slots. That's this way and not this way. Skip all the this way ones. Now though, I will say it's your cover and concealment, so you should kind of play with it. For instance, in other Gat Wraps, I ran the bungee through the center to give the whole setup a different look and a different, different kind of 3D form to it. So play with it, mix it up, don't feel like you have to do it just one way. And the overarching theme to remember is you're doing camo and concealment for your setup. It just really shouldn't be a cookie cutter solution. But for the sake of the video, I'll follow the instructions today. I routed through the slits at the bottom of the wrap, then transitioned to the center section, and then followed the same instructions of only using the horizontal slots. Then we turn the corner and do the same. And this is simple, but it does take a second. I finish up the last row and make sure to tie in another knot. Again though, I'm just telling you, randomly, that second knot may also be very important. Now for the next part, we're actually gonna go use our scissors and we're gonna cut loose all the individual leaf pieces. Now just follow along as I do this and cut these as we go bit by bit and cut each segment loose from the ones next to it. Just imagine, if you didn't tie that knot and all those individual leafy bits fell off. God, that would just be wonderful. Now, the cutting part is a bit tedious, but I get the point of this. You want each of these loose so we can adjust them later to your actual setup. Now, you may be asking yourself, the bungee is a set length and the Gat Wrap is a set length, so I don't know, couldn't this be assembled for you? And I don't know enough about their assembly process, but sure, probably. But here is where I want to harp on like 100 more times, is that you should be intimately aware of the cover and concealment that you're using and how it all works together. So that's my annoying dad way of saying, take the time on this. No, Hop didn't pay me to say that. Once we have it all cut and aligned, we can then go set it up on the rifle. Now, here is where your configuration may vary and could be super unique. Like, if you weren't using a silencer cover like I have, you may want to start further down the rifle. But I start at the cover and use the knot we made to secure it all down. Here then, I'll wrap the Gat Wrap up and around the optic, making, a crisscross pattern, and then using the last bit to wrap around the buffer tube. Now, key piece here, make sure to keep all your controls exposed so you can actually still manipulate the firearm and you're not covering them up with the actual Gat Wrap. Like, pay attention to your ejection port, make sure you have free movement of your charging handle, and that you can actually access all your controls. And I've found I need to tie and redo it a few times just to get everything kind of perfect for my setup and get kind of the look and concealment that I want to have. And you can see me here doing some back and forth on getting it just how I wanted, and I did do some tweaks later. I wanted to break up as much of the rifle's defining features as possible. And I think you're already seeing, without even adjusting it and making it perfect, that we're adding some significant breakup to that whole rifle design on top of that pretty cool camo color that was already there. And because everyone's gonna ask me, it was an Aero Builder set, the Cerakote, Relv Moab, done by Nevada Cerakote, and no, I don't think you can still buy it. But here you can see the Gat Wrap just breaks up the silhouette and defining features of a rifle weapon system. And I love that I could just take it off and swap it out entirely for a different colorway for an entirely different environment. Here on the long range setup, I've focused on breaking up the optic. I didn't have a silencer cover, so I also started at the bipod instead. And showing it on my long range setup versus the short range setup, I just want you to see some flexibility in how you can set it up and have different parts or different pieces of the rifle that you're trying to conceal more than others. And it really doesn't matter how you have it set up. I'm just really amazed at how well it's breaking up that whole rifle form. But tell you what, let's move into some pros and cons. And the first one I want to talk about is all the available colorways that allow me to continue that whole Predator Ghillie setup. From multicam to A-Tacs, you can design a configuration to match any environment. And I love seeing all the same colorways available on the Gat Wrap designs as we saw on the helmet cover. And I just love the idea of being able to keep a set of colorways like in my gear in a Pelican case that I can just switch out regardless of whatever environment I'm in. And the next pro is that obvious level of additional breakup that I can add to a rifle that I can also stuff in a pocket. With the leaf design, I felt like the Gat Wrap adds even more 3D features than the helmet cover does, making it easy to break up an easily identifiable characteristic of a big rifle. The whole system is small and robust, making it easy to pull this out of a pack or a pocket and add in some true cover and concealment to your weapon system. And I just love it, but I do think there are some cons. And the first one I want to mention is when you actually put it together with the whole connection system. Now, I get that Beez wants you to design this yourself, but there really isn't any good instruction on how to tie or connect things in. It would be nice to have some additional input into their vision, as sometimes I get to the end of routing things and I'm like, okay, how do I secure the end of this now? Or maybe I just suck with knots and it's a non-issue. Who knows? I'm sure you'll all tell me down in the comments. I'm sure you'll also include other nonsensical things about sandwiches too. So let's get into my final verdict on the Beez Gat Wrap. The Gat Wrap really just impressed me as it added that next layer into our Predator Ghillie system, giving both a great way to break up that simple to identify rifle design, while also providing multiple colorway options based on my environment. And if you played this right, you could just swap out to different colorways in your actual Predator Ghillie system instead of needing a specialized Cerakote for whatever region you're in. Looking forward though, we'll keep our Predator series going with the rear pack and backpack wrap next. And yes, it's just badass with the whole mystery ranch setup and the whole helmet setup and the whole ghillie thing. It's awesome. So stay tuned for the next episode in the Predator ghillie system, but I hope this review of the Beez Combat Systems Gat Wrap was useful in your purchasing decisions. I want to say thanks to all of our YouTube supporters and all of our Patreon members. You make it possible that we see all this cool stuff, and I really just love interacting with you and having you be part of our community. And I want to say thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below which piece you're next to. God, I messed this up so bad. Comment down below which piece of the Predator ghillie system you want to see next and what your favorite colorway is. I want to hear about it. All right, everyone, Balsh out. Listen, pretty soon we're going to have to transition back to the green screen because it's getting cold. I'll just start recording this so just have us in the background whenever we're talking. All right. It's chilly. I got other cool stuff to show you. Get out of here.